And foremost, the tip that I want to give you when it comes to your studies for CUET and boards both is to stick to your NCRT and the material that you've got from the central board, because that is the only uniform material. वो ही एक चीज है जो सबके पास same है. So the examiner has to set the paper from that and not from outside. If you have extra time in your preparation, read the NCRT again and again and again. MCQ, CUET is an MCQ exam, multiple choice question. तो उसमें आपको एनसीईआरटी के वर्ड्स आइडेंटिफाई करके इजीली आंसर मिल जाएगा. बट टू आइडेंटिफाई द वर्ड्स यू हैव टू रीड इट as many times as you can. Business studies and psychology books I might have read over 10 times for sure, with making notes, underlining. तो अपना टाइम अगर एक्स्ट्रा है जो कि होना चाहिए while you're revising, focus on NCRT. Don't run after having more books. Less books but more focus as compared to more books and scattered focus. So that. Secondly, which brings me to my second point, is multiple revisions and practice. For your theory subjects like maths and accounts, I did not have maths, so I can't really guide you in that. क्योंकि मैं 10th में maths में बहुत बुरी थी. I told you I was never a topper, so I did not take math. But those of you who have math and accounts, उसमें practice is the only key. तो try and practice as many questions as you can. अगर आपको teachers ने school ने 10 question दिए हैं तो आप 20 करके जाओ. And MCQs don't take time also, which is the best part about CUET revision, that you don't have to write a lot to practice. You just have to know the concepts right. And for the theory subjects also, read again and again and practice as many questions as you can. If you want to refer to books outside of NCRT, refer to question and answer books and not the reading material, because reading material NCRT would be sufficient as per what I know and the other people that I've discussed this with in my college. Third, time management and proper division to each subject. We take English lightly, and that really hurt me because मेरे 12th में 99 आए in all subjects and English में 92 आ गए, because of which my score went down. So try and not take any subject lightly. Yeah, so time management and proper division is very important. Don't take any subject lightly. सबको equal time दो, सब equal weightage के हैं, and especially English, क्योंकि English में बहुत लोगों का रह जाता है, मेरा including. So that would be something that you can learn from my experience. Fourth, pay attention to your classes, your school classes, your coaching classes. It always helps. जब आप सुनते हो और फिर पढ़ते हो तो you already have a gist, और easy हो जाता है याद करना, because आपने एक interaction करी हुई है उस topic के बारे में as compared to just reading blindly. So please pay attention in your classes as much as you can, at least the ones. कोई एक पकड़ लो. So I preferred my tuition class for accounts over my school class. तो for accounts मैं उनकी सुनती थी, and school I would not pay a lot of attention to. But for the other subjects, I would pay attention to my school classes because I did not have tuition for those. These were the study-related tips. These you can get millions of them online on YouTube from your teachers, from your seniors. Everyone will give you these. And it all comes down to आपके लिए क्या work करता है, आपके लिए जो work करता है, आप उसे पकड़िए और अच्छे से करिए.
So essentially what you need to do is, you have to solve a lot of mock tests. The moment your board exams get over, just take 2 to 3 days to catch up with the deleted part of syllabus, or the part of syllabus that was not there in your board exams. Try to catch up with that, and post that, start solving lots of mock papers. So when you'll solve those mock papers, you'll find out some weakness. You don't have to worry about it. Mistakes are part and parcel of life. You'll make them, but most important thing is that you need to understand those mistakes. You need to analyze the patterns. Why are you making those mistakes? And most importantly, you don't have to repeat them. So that is exactly what you have to do. Solve mock tests, find out the mistakes, analyze them, don't repeat them. And meanwhile, keep on revising the content wherever you feel your areas are weak. Instead of consistently revising all the syllabus again after boards, try solving mock tests. And then within that, whichever areas you are getting wrong, or whichever areas you feel are a part of weakness for you, you can actually start giving them more attention for revision phase. And for the rest of it, you can continue giving mocks, and then you can get a very good idea as to how to tackle the exam. And also, please, you could follow this method, that give every exam, give every mock test as if it's your final exam, and give the final exam as if it's your mock test. Because if you would have given so many mock tests, and if you give the final exam as a mock test, you'd be very relieved and tension-free and stress-free. So you'd be able to give the paper in a better manner. You'll be able to concentrate better. You'll be able to remove the aspects of anxiety from it, because ये नहीं सोचना, you don't have to think that this is the life-changing moment for me, and if I screw this up, I'll be a mess, my life will be a mess. You don't have to think like that. And I know it tends to happen. We do tend to think like that this is like the most important part of my life, but nothing, it's not like that. You'll be able to ace it, but you have to remove that fear from your mind. So for that, you need to solve a lot of mock tests. Only then will you be able to become familiar and comfortable with the setting of giving exams, right? Giving exams and giving tests and everything is also skill. You need to develop that. So you need to consistently give as many mock tests as possible. You need to analyze the patterns where you're making mistake, and you don't have to repeat that. So this is the most important thing that you have to do. Consistently give mock tests, then analyze them, and then find out the mistakes. You can take screenshots if you want. You can make a whole repository of the mistakes that you have made, and towards the end of the exam, you can revise them. And meanwhile, the mistakes that you find out, you can relate back which topic does it occur in, and then you can go back and study the topic very well. Even for subjects like general test, you don't need to study all the subjects or all the parts like from scratch. Instead, what you can do is you can start with the mock test, and whichever area, let's say direction sense is weak, so you can go to YouTube or you can go to the coaching modules, and then you can refer to the modules or the lectures for direction sense instead of going through everything. So you have to find out what you're naturally good at. You have to make your strength an even bigger strength, and the weakness you have to deal with that by focusing on them more. So that is a good structured way to deal with that. And I hope that you can take this away from this session, that you will be able to have a more structured way, use mocks to your benefit. And then please remember this 3-layer strategy. Firstly, concepts plus notes. Then it's your boards, PYQs and sample papers, previous year questions and sample papers. And thirdly, it's your revision plus mock tests. I hope I was able to add value to your life through this session. And I'd love to take up some doubts if there are any. And I hope that this has been a fruitful discussion. And if there is anything that can be like explained further, I'd love to do that. Thank you.
The first thing which is really important is consistency. If each of you think that oh, if I start studying a week before the exam, I may be able to perform well, this may not work well in each case. So be consistent throughout the process, given time each day starting from now on. If you prepare well for your boards, 90% of your work is done, because CUET is based on CBSE board syllabus, right? So if you are preparing well for your boards, you are already good to go. But after your boards are over, after necessary break, again, do start your revision for CUET. For the CBSE kids, all of you in CBSE board, it is comparatively easier for you because the syllabus inclines, it matches a bit. But for the ISC students, there are some portions which are not really covered in your syllabus, and you have to, really prepare additionally for those parts. So I would say that requires a little extra effort, and do not leave those portions. Even for the CBSE students, there may be some portions in your deleted syllabus, like, maybe a certain portion X has been deleted, but that does not mean that cannot, come in your CUET exam. So even study those portions, do not leave out anything. Let's come to English first. So for English, vocabulary is very important. What you can do is prepare a sort of diary or maybe an exercise book where you add maybe 10 new words that you've learned each day, or maybe you can practice synonyms and antonyms for every word, because the CUET English paper is mostly unseen passages, synonyms, antonyms, and word meanings. So if you are good with your vocabulary, you can honestly easily crack the English paper. There are a lot of resources on the internet. Please make use of those. Use those resources to study, practice mock papers. Unseen passages are really important. Many of you, we have this notion in mind कि हाँ unseen passage आएगा, उसमें कुछ practice का need नहीं है, we'll do it. But it doesn't work that way. You have to time yourself, because sometimes time can be an issue. Maybe exam ke time pe, when you're actually sitting in front of the screen writing your paper, you may think, oh, I have less time now. So you have to increase your reading speed as well. Coming to maths, not all of you are appearing for maths, but those who are, the maths paper is moderately difficult, right? So maths requires practice every day, maths and accountancy, if you're appearing for it. What I would say is prioritize. At this point, all of you know, right, कि हाँ ये मेरा weak subject है, ये मेरा strong subject है. If you've segregated that already, you know कि this is one subject you have to focus on. So for example, if mathematics is your weak point, please make sure that you study 1 hour minimum maths every day along with the other subjects. So if you're giving maybe an hour to accountancy on Monday, an hour to business studies on Tuesday, make sure maths happens daily with that. Right. So prioritizing is really, really important. Make sure you're thorough with NCRT. NCRT is really important. Appear for mocks, practice papers, keep reading the chapters. I know it can get boring, but you have to be thorough with what each and every line has to say in the chapter. Comprehend it well, practice the back questions. It's an MCQ based paper, so just keep solving and time yourself each time you solve those papers. Uh, Also, breaks are really important. Don't burn yourself out. If you're studying 10-15 hours a day every day for a month, in the end you're going to be very overwhelmed and exhausted, and that won't work well for you, right? So make sure that if you've studied for, let's say, 2 to 3 hours, go for a walk, take a break, maybe watch something for 10-15 minutes, because it's really important to take breaks. It's important for your mental health, because if you're continuously just focusing on one thing for 2 months, not giving yourself the break that you require, it can honestly lead to burnouts, and it can be bad for your mental health. It's really important to always prioritize your mental health as well.
मैं आपको एक दो चीजों के बारे में और बताना चाहूंगा कि जब आप सीयूईटी एग्जाम देते हैं, एग्जाम की टाइम मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटेजी, क्योंकि टाइम आपके पास बहुत कम है, आपको 40 क्वेश्चंस करने होंगे 45 मिनट्स में। तो उसके लिए बताना चाहूंगा कि जब आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करते हैं तो 3 उनको पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर लीजिए। मैं उसको 3 बकेट स्ट्रेटेजी बोलता हूँ। फर्स्ट स्टेज वो क्वेश्चन जो आपको लग रहा है आप एक बार पढ़ते, क्योंकि आपको एक चीज और ध्यान में रखनी है, आप 10 क्वेश्चन छोड़ सकते हैं, राइट? वो आपका बहुत बड़ा प्लस पॉइंट है, और आपको एक क्वेश्चन के लिए 5 ही मार्क्स मिल रहे हैं, राइट? तो अगर जैसे अकाउंट्स में आपको थ्योरी क्वेश्चन है, आपको बहुत अच्छे से आ रहा है, तो आप न्यूमेरिकल के लिए क्यों जाएंगे? ऑब्वियसली यू विल ऑप्ट फॉर दी थ्योरी, क्योंकि आप सीधे एक नजर में उसका आंसर दे देंगे। You will only take around 5 to 10 seconds in reading the question and giving the answer, and in numerical you will definitely take around 40 seconds to 1 minute, right? So go for the theory one. मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि फर्स्टली आपको वो फर्स्ट बकेट में आपको वो वाले क्वेश्चन रखने हैं जो आपको सबसे पहले देखते ही आप उनके आंसर दे सकते हैं, जिनमें आपको 30 सेकंड से ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगना है, राइट? आप देखते जा रहे हैं, आंसर टिक करते जा रहे हैं। सबसे पहले वो वाले क्वेश्चन आपको सारे सॉल्व कर लेने हैं। फिर सेकंड बकेट में आपको वो वाले क्वेश्चंस रखने हैं जिनमें आपको टाइम लगेगा, आपको ये बात पता है, पर आपको अच्छे से आते हैं, आप कंफर्म्ड हो कि अगर आप इस वाले क्वेश्चन पर टाइम दोगे तो आपका आंसर सही आएगा, राइट? जैसे कि अकाउंट्स के न्यूमेरिकल्स हो गए, उनमें टाइम लगना है। नेशनल इनकम के न्यूमेरिकल्स हो गए, उनमें टाइम लगना है। इकोनॉमिक्स में तो आप जब उनको दोगे टाइम तो आपका आंसर तो आ जाएगा, लेकिन उसमें टाइम लगेगा, आपको ये बात पता है। उनको करना है सेकंड बकेट में, सेकंड नंबर पर, राइट? जब आपके ये सारे हो जाएंगे तो अभी तक आपने वो सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिए जो आपको आते थे। फिर भी आपके अगर 40 क्वेश्चंस नहीं हो रहे, तब आपको थर्ड नंबर के क्वेश्चंस पे आना है। थर्ड बकेट हो गई क्वेश्चंस की, उसमें आपको वो वाले क्वेश्चंस के लिए ऑप्ट करना है जो कि आपको आ नहीं रहे हैं, लेकिन उनका कंसेप्ट आपको कुछ कुछ आता है, और आप एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक से जब आप एलिमिनेट करते हो जो रॉन्ग आंसर्स है, उनसे उसके आंसर तक पहुंच सकते हो। तो फिर आपको वो वाले क्वेश्चन ऑप्ट करने हैं और इसी सीक्वेंस में ऑप्ट करने हैं। ये आपके लिए काफी बेनिफिशियल रहेगा। फिर रही स्लॉट की बात, तो स्लॉट में आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि मैंने क्या किया था। मैंने प्रैक्टिकल के साथ एक थियरी क्वेश्चन कंबाइन, थियरी पेपर कंबाइन करने का ट्राई किया था। जैसे कि मैंने इंग्लिश के साथ इकोनॉमिक्स दिया था और बिजनेस स्टडीज के साथ मैंने अपना अकाउंटेंसी भी दिया था। तो मैंने फिजिकल एजुकेशन का भी पेपर दिया था, एंड अगर आप में से कोई इंटरेस्ट हो तो उसका भी पेपर दे सकते हैं। वो भी काफी ठीक सा सब्जेक्ट है, लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक सो कि वो आपकी काफी हेल्प कर पाएगा अनलेस एंड अनटिल आप उसके कंसेप्ट में बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे हो। तो मैं अच्छा था तो मैंने दिया था, मेरा उसमें भी स्कोर अच्छा था, लेकिन मेरा टॉप 4 का स्कोर यही था जो मैं आपको बता रहा। ओके, सो ये आप कर सकते हैं कि एक प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट के साथ एक थ्योरी सब्जेक्ट कंबाइन प्लीज कीजिएगा, ताकि जो आपका माइंड है वो पहले जैसे आप प्रैक्टिकल करते हैं और उसके बाद भी प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट करते हैं, तो थोड़ा जो कैलकुलेशन की स्पीड है में भी कम हो जाए, राइट। ऑब्वियसली हर के स्टूडेंट के लिए अलग होगा, आप अपना बेस्ट वे फाइंड कीजिए, लेकिन मैंने यह जो किया था मैंने वो आपको बता दिया, राइट। सो दीज वर सम ऑफ द टिप्स